Peace, family. I am Chidiki, aka Chivatal, and I am back with another tool for your toolkits. I am looking forward to connecting with you all. Today's download and upload for this live came in the early hours of the morning. As you all know, I said I promise to come to you when I feel inspired so that the energy can authentically be felt and is genuine to my type of being. All right, so welcome to everyone who's tuning in. Congratulations to everybody on their day one down of 21 days. Yeah, peace. Welcome. I see Kid is in the building. Jeremiah is in the building. What are we doing, y'all? What are we doing, y'all? I know I look like a little princessish. You know what I mean? This is. I want to say. I just listen. I'll tell you. I'm gonna tell you about me. You tell me about you. Every bit of Jackie. Peace. Welcome. Everybody in the chat, we greening. Let me see them green hearts. Let me see we greening. That is what we're doing. So look, y'all. I told y'all when I'm home, I play dress up, and I share that. Y'all hear my daughter laughing because I do. Um, of course, today's day one, and I actually did not eat appropriately yesterday for a strong detox today. So that coupled with I'm in a couple of days of no coffee, so I am experiencing like a headache, which is totally natural. So if you are having a headache, congratulations. You are releasing the toxins. I know it sucks, but at least you know it's working. Okay. So I needed to really give my crown a dressing, and it works for me. Call it hoodoo, call it whatever you want to call it. But I had to sit and I wrapped my head in this white cloth. And y'all, just to keep it real, it's not fake stuff. Because we do use white cloth in order to help to cleanse the ori, and even make offerings of white cloth to the ori. So it was calling for this. And then I have not worn this in such a long time. It was gifted to me by a beautiful friend of mine who's a doctor of the spine. She's a chiropractor, and it's just as beautiful. So, whew, day one out of 21 days, cool. So if you check out the title of this video, which is Book of Changes, you will know that it might sound familiar to you. It's interesting because when I got up the first time this morning, this whole download came. So I've written a whole bunch already behind this exercise. And while it was coming to me, I was just like, Book of Changes. Sometimes I'm out of sorts when I get up. And I'm like, Book of Changes, why does this feel so familiar? But I'm not sure what's coming to me, right? The exercise was like, yo, everybody should do this. This is so therapeutic, so empowering, and this is what's coming to me now. So I have an assignment for you. And the only thing you're gonna need is a very special type of journal. So I know that this is real, and I know that this was called for because I got a sign. So it hit me, right? First of all, it hit me like later on, maybe like I want to say like an hour ago. Book of Changes. I'm like, oh yeah. So I was definitely going through the bagua with you all, preparing for your spring cleaning, your deep clean, and your detox. And while I was volunteering today at the book fair, they had these at the book fair. And funny enough, I was like on the fence about buying it because I'm like, I got journals, I got notebooks. But I just was like, something about it that's really important. Like, isn't this me? This is love. This is the Bagua. This is, yeah, Fushi and it's all of it. Okay, so when I got this piece, right, because the downloads come in pieces, and then I realized, oh, the Book of Changes. Like, technically, the Book of Changes, right, the Tao, doesn't really have an author. Um, it really comes from literally documenting the wisdom of your life. And while it's great to lean on the understanding of things that are tried and true, we want to move in a direction where we absolutely recognize our divinity, that our years here on this planet have not been for naught. And while we are introducing our awareness to other divine aspects that exist here on this planet or astrally, um, we want to continue to cultivate and support that part of ourselves that is always guiding, no matter what. Okay. But one thing that stuck out through my writing this morning, alhamdulillah, right? One thing that stuck out to me was one thing we absolutely are going to be faced with are changes. And some of the hardest things for us is not that change happens, is that we don't yet have a really personal commitment and structure around how to deal with or respond to change. Okay? So I'll even share a bit. What I saw was a culmination of experiences of my life. And in my life, where I believe and practice magic, and I believe and practice spirituality in a structured system, and still honor and respect what my Ori gives me. Um, there are still moments that are totally unplanned for, no matter what, like unexpected. And we all have that. The only thing is that practicing magic or being in a spiritual system where we believe in manipulating outcomes or circumstances, we're kind of encouraged, or I don't want to say finessed. I don't want to say finesse because it's not disrespectfully finessed. It is. Let me see. What was the word that came to me? It's like it encourages us to kind of have these hopes or these unfounded beliefs that we can absolutely change everything or we can absolutely plan for everything. And life has proven that we can't. Hold on a second. Baby girl, can you turn that off? Thank you. We can't. And it's not a bad thing. I think that if you were to be honest with yourselves, besides the tragic things that happened to you unplanned, there are some good things that happened that you're glad they did. But let's talk about some of these things. So we're going to talk about the things that are monumental pivots in your life that generate these vortexes, right? They're like they're points. They're points in your life where you are faced with the reality that transformation has to occur. Leading up to it, you may catch a wind of change, some signs, some symbols that something's going to have to shift. During those moments, we got to be thankful. Thank you, universe, for giving me a heads up. All right. But there are other times where we're sideswiped, like a car crash, sudden death of someone that we care about, losing a job you didn't know you was going to lose. You realize you've got to move. Your house sets on fire. Stuff like that you weren't prepared for. And as much as you want to be MacGyver and have all kind of evacuation kits and emergency kits and whatever, your emergency kit's not going to save you if you happen to be vacationing over east and there's a tsunami. Okay? That's what I mean. Like, life can just happen. But up until this point, life has happened and you're watching this video, which means yes, you've got some kind of wisdom. You have power that is untapped, not acknowledged enough, because I know that there are parts where you have forgotten. We've remembered the huge, oh my gosh, moments in our life. But what about what you did in those moments? What did your instincts help you to accomplish? If your home burnt down, what did you learn quickly in order to find yourself a new home? If you lost your job, what did you start creating in order to supplement the missing income? If you found yourself in an abusive relationship and you had no idea, how the hell am I going to get out of here? But you're just like, I got to get out of here. So I'm going to have to pack my bag and like keep it pushing. What did you do? So because you're here, I know that you did something and you're still alive. And there's knowledge that you have that you can and you should lean on. You have wisdom that you should lean on. You have wisdom that you should be able to actually go to in your own book and say, oh, I know the energy of this experience. I'm going to my book of changes for guidance and to look at some of the themes that occurred around this type of circumstance. Sometimes we have once in a lifetime experiences, but that once in a lifetime experience can be the one experience that you know and you survived and you overcame so well that it becomes the one thing that you champion out into the world and become a leader of. And people will show up in your life like all over needing that specific wisdom for that one-time experience that you had. Okay? And then there's other things that happen in cycles that if you had your own book of changes, you could cycle back to it, flip the pages, and look at yourself. The thing about your book of changes is that you can look at yourself from when you had that experience the first time. And if you have some type of pattern of experiencing this, you can continue to add more wisdom to it as you grow and develop. How y'all liking this so far? because this is like a piggyback on the whole system of feng shui and bagua and going through your home and tapping into your intuition. Our intuition, okay, is like a child. The more we neglect it, the more we ignore it, is the quieter it gets. So the more we do things to incorporate actually following and abiding by our intuition, is the stronger and more accurate it will get. So these different exercises with knowing that a space in your house needs to shift. You might need to just change the kind of books on that particular shelf and put something else there. And that in itself puts you on the right path of where you really want to grow. And those types of feelings need to be honored so that you can become more of a God man or God woman. Because then you're tapping into that infinite intelligence that we just have to admit must exist. Because if it didn't, then we could say 100% of the time we can control every single aspect of things that happens to our lives. And we can't. You don't wake yourself up in the morning. You're not even controlling your breathing in this moment. Your heart is beating and you're not doing it. Okay? Your blood is flowing, your muscles are relaxing, and these are all these signs that there is still some overarching energy that has created a design of some sort for us to learn how to master. And we master it by tuning into that frequency of godness. Okay? We have goddess and God, it's godness. We move into this aspect of finding these energies, this masculine and feminine energies within ourselves that communicate. And when they're fluidly moving back and forth, they're taking turns, they're activated, then we can trust how we move. This is really important because, like I said, with our new moon in Aries, and it's springtime, and we have the Jupiterian energy, right? We're going to need to know when to go, when to flow, when to go, when to chill, fall back, and just allow people, places, and things to be how they want to be. When do we need to go in there and fix? When do we need to just focus on ourselves? So all of these things are coming up, but how many of you have one place where you can specifically go to as your own form of divination? Because this is what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Your own personal book of changes. So what happens is, write this down because this is your assignment. Okay? You're going to have to start with a timeline of pivotal moments. I'll give you some examples so you understand what I mean. And pivotal moments mean once these moments happen, things are never the same. Like it absolutely legitimately creates this mini tornado, right? A vortex. And that's change. Change that will never be the same. Okay? And when you're in it, you don't really know what the outcome is going to be. And that's the magic of it. So press 1 in the chat if you're ready for the assignment. Oh my gosh, I see some of y'all already grabbed y'all mother flow wash. Y'all not slick. Y'all not slick. Here's the link. Here's the link in the chat. Yes, it's ready, y'all. It's here. It's ready. Okay. And I'll tell you, I was limited supplies, so go ahead, first come, first serve, grab that. Okay. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right. I had to take notes because it really developed, and I feel great sharing it with you. I feel really abundant. I feel really blessed. I feel very fortunate. Um, and this is me. So being myself. So I want you to first start out with the personal timeline. So significant points of change include births, graduations, initiations, marriages, accidents, injuries, new jobs, endings, like endings of a job, endings of a relationship, can be divorce, it can be an ending of a friendship, um, various sexual adventures or experiences, good or bad, welcome or unwelcome. These are pivotal moments of change. Okay. Fights, meeting new people, getting lost, tragedy, death. These are the kinds of things that you're going to look at. Okay. Now, I personally have dug into my personal history, so I know a little bit more about the energy surrounding my own birth. Of course, I don't remember everything from when I was an infant, but because I went back in time and I've had conversations and I've been able to read like the journal of my mom during the time of her pregnancy and then have conversations with my dad, I can see how those pivotal moments surrounding even my creation offer me wisdom now in regards to things I experience. So if you have access to your parents, right, you can ask some really great questions about the energy surrounding your birth, because that is the first point in which major change and transformation is happening. You're going from this consciousness with no body into a physical form. And this is what's going to materialize and grow and unfold throughout your lifetime. Okay? So this is what you want to do before you go to your book of changes. Everybody get a book of changes. Yo, if y'all want one of these, let me see how much they cost. They are $15 with tax. I think $15.30 maybe, and then shipping. Maybe it'll be like $6. It will be for a good cause. I'll go back to the book fair and buy all of them. If y'all want one of these too. So just text me if you want one. Not even trying to. All you gotta do is pay for the book and the shipping. I'm not gonna charge it or anything. So just looking out because I came across something dope. I think it's so dope. I do. It's got little dragon, like little dragon claws in there. Look at that. I like it. It's not gonna be big enough for all of my book of changes, but I like it. I like it. Okay. So yeah, the book just round up everything, so it ain't costing me nothing. All right. So this is your assignment. Once you write out your personal timeline, I think back in like 2019, 2018 maybe, I had y'all do a timeline for some other work, and that was transformational. If you still have that, you can revisit it and you can use that to back you up. But doing this during this time is going to get you real clear so that your garden is just going to be having the type of seeds that you want to cultivate. Because this is spring and it's like you want to be selective with your seed. Same way you want to be, selective with your seed. And the same way you want to be like selective with your seed. Okay? Y'all see me? Y'all see me? All right. So, my dears, you're going to do your timeline first. And then when you get your journal, you are going to do in chronological order, okay? The first time. And then, if you see themes, instead of going like, let me give you an example. Be really clear, Cherokee. Here we go. Let's say I have new relationships, romantic, right? My first one is going to be like my first boyfriend in my mind, right? Hey, my business. My daughter's laughing at me. My first boyfriend. And the things that were really pivotal about that experience for me. As I'm going through my timeline of things, I may come across another really pivotal moment with another relationship. Instead of doing it 50 pages in, I'm going to go back to where I started writing about new relationships. Because the wisdom that I'm going to have are going to be a culmination of years and experiences around what I do and how I relate when I start a new relationship. And so I will have a couple of pages all about me, wisdom, and new relationships. You see what I'm saying? This is why I want you to do like your rough timeline first so you can actually circle things that are themes. And then when you put them in your book, you will put them in order of time and themes. Okay, because you will begin, the first theme is going to show up around births. If it's your birth, for example, I would put under my birth, I would include the birth of each of my children. Because what was going on around my conception definitely plays a part in how I experience conception and childbirth with each of my children. And I will have wisdom around these experiences. One where things were kind of just happening around me, right? I wasn't conscious of the affair. But then how those things developed with my son, and then how those things developed with my daughter, and then God willing, how those things develop with more children for me in the future, right? So that will be your book. And in times where you feel the winds of change happening and you're aware of the area of your life that is going to be shifting, you can go directly to that theme. All right? Not only can you go directly to that theme when you're aware of what's happening, but on a day where you're not really sure, you can go to your book and you can just open it up and be reminded of the wisdom that you tapped into at that time in your life. And I assure you that the information that you come across at that time is going to be absolutely beneficial and helpful to your life. We cannot avoid change. Change is part of this ordeal. And I have just given you all such a huge piece of the work of my life. And I just pray that you see the value in it for yourselves and be empowered. Be empowered about it. And do it. All right? All right. So, for those of you who have been here with me, I'll let everyone know that the floor wash is available. And what are we doing? Because we're going into day 2 tomorrow. What are we doing? Come on, flood the chat, flood the chat, flood the chat. What are we doing? I want to see y'all light up the chat with them green hearts. Light it up, light it up. We are greening. We are greening, we are greening, we are greening. We greening, we greening, we greening. So that's it for y'all. Peace, love, bliss. Yeah, got my face. She know the whole thing, you know what I mean? And we out. Love y'all. See you soon.